Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming back to watch another video. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my subscribers out there and everybody who clicks that like button for me. I truly do appreciate it. And if it's your first time, go ahead and subscribe, go to notifications, find the bell, click it for all so you don't miss any of my new videos. And it's going to be how my life flashed before my eyes, and I'm not kidding. I really thought it was the last day on earth. So if you want to hear this story, stick through the intro. Let's go.
There I was, back in the wild again, and I felt right at home, where I belong.
All right, you guys. I hope you stuck through the intro. Now, I've been doing some archery videos and decided I needed to relax a little bit and just tell a story. So, a lot of you guys know that I was in construction for 20 plus years. Did just about everything, but my main trade was plastering. Well, I live in southwest Missouri, so if you guys have ever heard of Branson, Missouri, we did a lot of jobs in Branson, Missouri, and a lot of condos and resorts and things like that. Just tons of them. On this one particular job, I was pretty sure that that was the day that I was going to meet my maker. If it wouldn't have been for the guys that I work with, it probably would have ended a lot worse than what it did. So as you guys know, in trades work, construction work, you're going to have new guys, and some of these new guys, they're usually pretty young and they're pretty hard headed and they think they know everything, even though they've only been there for a week or two, right? So I'm extremely scared of heights. And I know this because I tried roofing and I tried other things that had to do with heights and I just couldn't do it. I get into stucco and I'm thinking they're just doing houses and storefronts and I'll be working on scaffold, probably won't get more than 12, 15 foot up in the air, which wasn't that big a deal, even 20 foot. Anything past that, I didn't want to go. so, so when I started working as a plasterer, I started at the bottom as a laborer. One of the things that I leaned towards what's called a boom lift. Well, they would boom out and they would have a large basket on the front of them. You'd use the forks to put this basket on the front that all the men could work on. And most of the time, the baskets were anywhere from 24 foot to 30 foot long. And they were about not quite 4 foot wide. And they would have safety railing and clips and all that, for us to clip onto with 5-point harness. So I didn't want to get in that basket ever. So I learned how to operate the tractor. I learned how to operate the boom lift and got certified and licensed to operate one. That way, if there was ever one on the job, I was in it and I didn't have to get up in the air. So my plan worked for many years until I had basically worked myself up to a finisher. So as a finisher, you come in and put the color on and the texture, right? You basically finish the job and then clean it up, and when you're done, it's done. So we were on this condo down in Branson, and we had this new guy. He quit college to go work construction, and we all told him, bad idea. That's not a good idea. Well, he'd been working with us for about 2 weeks, I think, when this happened, and he was learning how to operate the boom lift. So I was also teaching him how to operate the boom lift because I was certified to operate it, licensed to operate it. I knew enough to teach this kid how to operate this machine. We also, luckily, we did have another licensed operator, heavy machine operator there that was way better than me. I mean, he was this guy. He could do stuff with them boom lifts and the bulldozers and stuff. The guy was an expert. He was a pretty good guy to talk to and hang out with. He was always giving me tips and advice when he was watching me operate. And of course, you always want to learn, no matter how much you know. There's always more to learn. So I'm always taking this guy's advice, listening to him, and he's just a really good guy. But this youngster wouldn't. Okay, he wouldn't communicate. He wouldn't ask questions. He wouldn't, you know, ask for help. He just acted like he knew how to do it, and that was it. He's just going to do it. He acted like he'd been doing it for 5 years already, right? So you can't really argue with these kids because then they'll just quit, and then you're short a guy. So we kind of took it easy on him. We didn't really, come down hard on him or nothing. We just let him figure it out, and no one was, ever in danger until this day. So me and a friend of mine, co-worker that I worked with for many years, we show up down there on this job. The kid's there already, and all we're supposed to do is boom out over this canopy entrance, stick some stones on there that had popped off. I don't know why they popped off or how they popped off, but we went back to put some rocks back on the wall right above this canopy. No big deal, right? Like, seriously, it was no big deal. We wasn't going to be boomed out very far. It was only going to be like 20, maybe 20 foot off the ground. I don't think it was that high off the ground. Well, the way this condo's built is the parking lot is actually sits up above the main part of the condo. This condo is basically built on a bluff, and they cut down through the rock and leveled out a big shelf to build this condo on because it overlooks the lake. Well, the entrance is even with the parking lot, right? And that's the part we're supposed to be working on. But it's the bluff is actually cut back about probably 15 foot, maybe 20 foot from the door. So it's kind of like just a path that goes to the door from the parking lot. Both sides drop off 20 foot or so. Well, it's 3 stories, so it was closer to 30 foot drop off. That's no, well, I guess it'd be 4 stories. It was 3 stories below the parking lot. Okay, 3 stories below the parking lot, 1 story level, 4 story building. He's just going to boom us out over the canopy part, the entrance. The basket's going to be hanging over the 30-foot drop off on one end, but on the other end, the basket is going to be right over the roof that goes into the entrance of these condos, the main entrance from the parking lot. Well, we told this kid to move the tractor over so that we would be basically straight down the middle. The basket would be even over the canopy. If anything happens, everything's going to hit that roof. None of our tools are going to drop 30 feet. You know what I mean? If we drop something on accident, to us, it would have been safer. Well, this kid, he knows what he's doing, and he can just boom us in over there. We'll just work off that end of the basket since there's 2 guys on there. Well, first off, that's not even safe to put all that weight on one end of the basket. It will make the whole tractor lean. So you want to kind of keep your weight even on the front too, as your guys are on there, spread out evenly. You guys, you know what I'm saying, right? You don't want to overload one side, not safe. Well, this particular boom lift had outriggers or downriggers so that you could downrig the front to help support the extra weight while you're booming out. Now, not all boom lifts had these, but this one boomed out so far it needed downriggers or outriggers. And I can't remember exactly what they're called, and I called them both because I didn't care. I told him, make sure you put the downriggers out because we're going to be on one end. The way you're putting us up there, we're both going to be on one end of the basket. It's going to cause the tractor to lean. So we need the outriggers down so that the tractor don't tip over or tip forward or anything like that. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know what to do. I know what to do." He was an expert already, right? Only been in this machine for 2 weeks, and he's an expert. I got my 5-point harness on, my safety line. I mean, I'm all set up. Now the guy I'm working with, he wasn't wearing none of this stuff. He's not scared of heights. He's like, Cooper, we're going to be right over the canopy. If you fall out, you're just going to hit that roof. It's right there. You know, it's going to be okay. You don't need to wear all that stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not taking any chances. I'm putting this stuff on because if this thing goes over that 30-foot drop, I want to be dangling from this basket. I do not want to hit that ground, right? It's just covered in big rocks where they blasted it, and I just did not want to be unalived that day. I tell the kid again because he's already got the tractor started, but he's not put the outriggers down. So I go up to the tractor again before I get in the basket and I say, "Hey man, don't forget to put the outriggers down before you take us up in the air." He's like, "I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing." I was like, "All right." I walked off, got in the basket. So this kid takes us up and he takes us way up above the canopy. So when you're operating these booms, you don't really want to go way up, then shoot your weight out in front of you, then start dropping it down. Because momentum, it will lift the back of your tractor, even if it's weighted, right? It's just when you do it, you start right here, and while you're lifting, you're booming out at the same time, and you're just slowly sending them, no dropping down. If anything, when you get to your destination, let's say, you want to be low, not high. So you can stop and then just lift and boom and adjust. You don't never want any sudden movement, right? Not left, right, up, or down. Nothing sudden. Everything needs to be smooth so that when you stop, there's no bouncing going on and the tractor doesn't pop a wheelie in the back because a lot of them will. He took us straight up in the air, not straight, but he took us up at the wrong angle, way too steep, gets us up, and then starts dropping us down. Well, as he's lowering us down, the back of that tractor's lifting, and I'm up here watching. I'm staring over this basket and I'm trying to tell him, slow down, boom us in, slow down. And he's not listening. He's not listening at all. He's just doing what he wants. And he starts dropping us down. And now, because he's boomed us up so high and then out too far when he's dropping us down, we're getting too close to the wall. So now he's got to bring us back while he's dropping us down. Now, normally, if you know how to use these machines, you can do that real smoothly because you can pull them back and drop everything. You can do everything at the same time so it operates real smooth. But he did not have that kind of experience at all. So everything's everything's got a stop to it. And the whole time, every time he go to stop, that tractor's popping a wheelie. We're about, man, maybe 10 foot, about 10 foot to the top of that roof of the entrance. And out of nowhere, I don't know why he did it or what happened, but all of a sudden we just drop real fast. He just dumps us down. Whew. Well, as soon as that happened, as soon as that weight started to fall, the back of that tractor lifted, and that whole tractor popped a wheelie. The back tires, people were walking under the back tires, you guys. This thing leaned forward, the basket slams into the wall that we're up there to fix, starts scraping down the wall. I'm holding on to that. I'm holding on to that basket, man, that safety rail. I knew everything was going downhill. I mean, I just knew it was over right then. I thought, gosh dang it. And I didn't even have time to say a prayer. It happened so fast, you guys. This thing comes down, boom, hits the roof. And as soon as it hits the roof, the basket says, boom, like this, and just leans sideways. So this tractor's cocked up in the air like this. Our basket, one end of our basket is dangling over the 30-foot drop off. The other end of the basket's barely caught on the roof. So we're cocked up and at an angle. And I just freeze. I'm standing in the middle of the basket. I'm not over at the end yet because I wasn't going to put weight on the end until he got us where we were supposed to be. So when this thing comes to a stop, I'm dangling over a 30-foot drop off, and this basket is tilted forward, you guys. So it's like it's trying to dump me out. And I'm holding on. My safety line's on. I know I'm safe as far as the basket goes. I'm connected to the basket. So as long as the basket stays on the tractor, we're good. Well, they don't always stay on the tractor. And when you have it at an angle, that is usually the same angle that you use to get your forks out from under the basket, disconnect from the basket. That's the angle we're at. Luckily, our basket had safety chains around the hooks, so it wasn't going to slide off the hooks, but the chains could have broke. I mean, there's a lot of things that could have happened, and I'm out here thinking of every single one. I'm just holding on. I'm not going to move. I'm frozen. I'm not going nowhere. And I'm looking over at my buddy, and he's hollering at me, "Come on, Cooper. Come over here. We can get on the roof. Come on. We can get on the roof. Come over here. Come over here." I'm like, "No, I'm not moving. I'm staying right here. I don't want to die." "You're not going to die, Cooper. Just let go. You got a safety line on. Come back. Come over here." "No, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not moving." Well, this has made a lot of noise, right? This thing scraping down the building and then hitting the metal roof. And now I'm out here screaming and yelling. And right in front of me, while I'm dangling 30 foot over boulders in death, there's two stories. There wasn't nobody on the bottom floor, but on the second and third floor, there's carpenters, drywallers, electricians. There's guys up here working, and they all start realizing what's going on. And they're about they was man they was at least 20 to 25 feet from my basket where I'm holding on to the railing to the condo where these guys are at. Okay, so right away, these guys start reacting. And they're like, "Just stay calm. Don't move. Stay there." And they're taking extension cords. Now, I gotta say, we used heavy duty extension cords. I mean, they're not like regular extension cords you get at Walmart, you guys. These things are almost as big around as your thumb. And they're heavy duty. They'll pull a lot of amps. Well, they were taking these extension cords and trying to tie them together, and they're going to throw them to me. Now, listen, they're wanting me to take the extension cords, tie them around my waist, and climb out of the basket, and they're going to Tarzan me over to the condo, right? I mean, I swear these guys are trying to get me to do this. And they keep throwing this extension cord, and they're not getting it there. It's too heavy, right? They can't, by the time it gets close to me, it unravels and hits the ground. I got to pull it, and they just keep trying to throw this cord. And I'm like, I'm not, I'm not taking the cord. Quit throwing the cord. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Stop throwing the cord. They keep throwing the cord, and they're trying to get me to calm down, and they're more excited than I am. Now they're freaking me out because I'm really thinking the only way off of this thing is to Tarzan off with an extension cord. This is not going to work. I might as well just jump. And that's what I started thinking. I was like, man, I don't want to get smashed by this basket. I'm not going to swing off of this thing on an extension cord and slam into the pillar or something down there, or hit the wall, or hit the railing and break my back. I'm not going to do that. I might as well just jump. Maybe I can tuck and roll and make it. Got a hard hat on, you know? So I'm seriously thinking about just bailing out. So this happens fast, you guys. All these thoughts happen so fast. And the whole time, these guys are yelling at me in front, grab the cord, grab the cord. I got my buddy over here, longtime friend, yelling, come this way, Cooper. Just let go and come this way. Come to me. Walk out here to me. Come on. And I'm not moving, man. I'm locked up and I'm starting to sweat. And I'm really, really thinking that I have only one option, and that's the tuck and roll. Now, I gotta say, I'm pretty sure the tuck and roll would not have happened because of what I was going to be jumping into. And yeah, it wouldn't have worked, you guys. I would not be here telling this story if I'd have done the tuck and roll maneuver. Yeah. So what happens is, I mean, all this happens. Maybe the whole thing took 8 to 10 minutes. Everything's happening so fast. So finally, my friend, he's like, screw it. So he gets back in the basket. He had already gotten out of the basket and was on the roof trying to convince me, look, we can get on the roof. It's okay. Right? So he gets back in the basket and he walks out there to me and he grabs me by my arm, my right arm. And he says, look, I just walked out here. This thing is not going to move. It's stuck. He said, let go and let's get on the roof. And I looked at him, and all of a sudden, it all sounded right. I was like, good idea. That's perfect, right? So he comes out there and he gets me, and he reassures me everything's okay. You gotta just let go and come with me. Just let go and come with me. I'm like, all right. So I let go and we walk back over to the roof. I get out of the basket. I unhook from the harness. I'm sitting right on the eave of the roof, right? There's no way I'm falling off this roof. No way. I'm saddling the roof. So while we're on the roof, once I get safe and I see the kid in the tractor, and I'm, like, why is he still in there? What's going on? What? This kid is in there in that tractor. He had his seatbelt on, and he's in this tractor still holding on. Dump forward. I don't know how I mean, he's leaning like this, and he's holding on that steering wheel, and he's not moving. He was scared just like me, right? So I was like, hollering his name, telling him it's okay. I'm out of the basket. I'm out of the basket. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay. And my buddy, he's hollering at him. Well, by the time, I don't know, within a couple minutes of me getting on the roof, the expert operator was right there with our operator. And I can see him reaching up in there and unhooking this kid's seatbelt. And he pulls the kid out And then he gets in there and he gets the tractor to drop its back end. He gets our basket out of there. He gets everything lined out, right? Like he fixes it. He just climbs in there and fixes it. And then he moves the tractor over where I told the kid to put the tractor, and he booms back up with the outriggers down. He booms back up. He picks us up, brings us down. Day's over. We didn't fix nothing. We actually tore more stuff up and had to go back later. It was a bad deal. So he gets us out and down on the ground safely. I get out, the kid's standing right beside the guy operating. He's watching everything he's doing. And we walk up to him and we're like, "Are you okay, buddy?" Cuz, it it traumatized me a lot, but it scared him even more, right? Like he thought that he had already dumped us out and unalived us. That's why he wasn't looking up. He thought we was hanging out or slammed down on the ground already. He didn't even know what what kind of shape we were in because he kept looking forward, holding on that steering wheel. We all have a chat. He quit. That was his last day. He quit and told us sorry and said that he was going to go back to college and get a degree, that he was never going to work in construction ever again. And even though we didn't say it, me and my buddy were, you know, clapping real loud and hollering, "Yay!" on the inside because this kid, he just didn't have the mentality for construction work. He didn't want to listen. He was just, he needed to go to school or join the military and, take one of those routes because he definitely needed to learn discipline and he definitely needed an education. So I hope he did one or the other or both. I never seen that guy again. But I'll never forget that because I thought for sure that was the end of it. And I've fallen off of roofs before a couple times, and I never, experienced that kind of fear ever in my life. And I also had seen someone fall off of the roof of a condo, 4-story condo, and that's a whole nother story. But I'd seen stuff and I'd experienced fear, and I almost jumped from fear. I mean, fear can be that serious, but I didn't. Luckily, I had a friend that, stayed calm the whole time, come and got me, brought me back. Obviously, there was a lot of people there that was going to do whatever they could, even if it didn't seem logical. They were still going to try to get me off of there and save me some way, somehow. Everybody was trying to save me. When someone's giving you advice and trying to help, don't ignore it. Even if you think you know everything, there's always room for learning something new. So don't sweat the little stuff like hanging over 30-foot drop off, knowing that's your last day. You got to squash that fear and you got to open your eyes and clear your mind and listen to the people around you. But the main thing is, once you get on the ground and you realize that it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be and you're still alive, you got to keep on keeping on, right? I got back into lifts. I never shied away from them. I just made sure that the person operating it knew what they was doing, and I made it out just fine. I made it out just fine, and I hope that that young man has a really good life, and I hope that he never ever had to experience that kind of fear again. And I doubt he did. I'm sure that that one incident changed his life forever. That one was bad. I almost jumped. I never felt that kind of fear, but I got over it. I just hope he got over it too and was able to go to college and get a degree and become a wealthy, intelligent young man. And I'm sure he did. I'm almost certain he did. I think it was a very eye opening experience for him. But I want to tell you something. There's people out there who feel that fear every day. Every day they feel that fear. And I want to let you know you don't have to feel that fear. You don't have to be afraid no more. There's people you can call and talk to. 988. And if you're a veteran, just press 1. Don't be afraid to call, okay? Overcome the fear and get help. It can be done. I promise it can be done. And they will help you. And if you don't want to talk to strangers, call one of your family members, call your friends, pray to God. No matter what, someone is going to help you overcome whatever fear you're experiencing. They will help you. And strangers sometimes are the best ones to get help from because they'll listen to everything you got to say. So call 988. Get help. Don't sweat the fear. Squelch the fear and keep on keeping on. God loves you. You're worth everything. God bless. Peace.